Welcome to the Learn to RV podcast, where road life meets real life.
Welcome to the Learn to RV podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about community, and we are going to be introducing something new to you guys today. But first, I am joined today by my two beautiful co-hosts who are tuning in from Kentucky and Virginia. Tasha and Jennifer. And I'm in Florida, and we're all freezing today. Like, the temperatures outside is cold everywhere.
It's a little
Yeah,
chilly.
it actually snowed here, so that was exciting.
It snowed here too.
Man, you gotta get out of Virginia. Oh, man. You guys need to come south fast. Maybe when you get here, the warm weather will return, and then we
Or
can
we
all
could
be
bring the
happy.
cold.
No. We came to Florida for a reason, okay? And the weather did not get the memo.
So
anyways,
Jen, you had this crazy idea a couple, months ago now?
yes,
Doesn't
a
seem
couple
that
months
long ago, but one of the things that you and I got talking about one day was how do we bring our community back together with this? And
Yep.
so we were going to do just like one podcast episode with 5 or 6 couples, right? Isn't that what we were gonna discussed?
Well, we were going to do it once a quarter is what we were going to do. Once a quarter, we were going to interview someone, and we were going to start with us, our husbands and everything, and then work our way into other couples. But it just didn't seem like it was enough. Like, I felt like we could do better than that, because there's a lot of people in our community who have stories worth telling and worth sharing, and I think people want to hear those stories. So yeah, I proposed the idea of why don't we do what's called a community spotlight series? And I didn't know what it would look like at the time. Nobody did. And it's kind of evolved over the last couple of months between all of us putting our heads together from afar, discussing it. But I think it's coming together and shaping this beautiful series that is going to be great. We've all been taking turns interviewing different people in our community, which I'm
And some
excited
people are
about.
requesting certain people to interview them, which has also been fun.
Yes. So you never know, so let's go back to the root of this. So we're going to start a new series called Community Spotlight Series. And this series is going to be made up of people just like you, who are listening to this program. And every week, this is going to be outside of our regular podcast. So this is going to drop every Thursday. Okay. And Mondays, we'll still have our normal podcast, but Thursdays will be our Community Spotlight. It's going to be a 30-minute podcast. And every week it's going to drop with people or businesses in the RV community. And it's going to be people coming on, sharing their story, talking about their business, talking about their products. And it's just going to be another way that we can connect you with the RV community as a whole. And it's going to be very exciting. Tasha, this last week, you got a chance to talk to somebody who was at the beet harvest in North Dakota, I think it was, right? Tell us a brief synopsis or a clip into that, preview into that interview.
Yeah. So I spoke to Teal Albert, and first of all, she is incredible. She has a great energy. You will not get bored listening to her story. She is just so energetic, and she has so many good tips to share. She has done 2 beet harvests, and she's done one of each. So the 2 big ones that you can choose between. So she had kind of some ideas of this one was good if you like this is good if you like this, and this is why we chose this, and this is why we'll probably go back to this one next year. And then the twist on the whole thing was that as I was trying to kind of get prepared for talking to Teal, I found out that she also is an ambassador for Serve, which was one of the organizations that we featured. Has it dropped yet? I'm so bad. It's already dropped.
It did.
It will have by the time this airs.
It's
right?
up. It's up now.
It's up. I think it went up this last week. So it's one of the organizations that we featured and how you can give back on the road. And so I got to talk to her about what it's like being an ambassador family and how her family works that into their routine and kind of what they've got coming up next and how you can get tuned into their travels and their adventures. And so it was just really cool to get to talk to her and get to know her a little bit better. And she's actually going to be at the Tampa RV show on behalf of Serve and maybe on behalf of some other people as well. And so when we're at the, can I say that? When we're at the Tampa RV show, because we're going to be at the Tampa RV show, you should come see
Yes.
us at the Tampa RV show. Um, I was like, Teal, I want to meet you in person. So, it was fun because I got to share a story, but I also feel like I made a friend. So, you know, I love
Well,
Yeah.
building
and that's
community. It was
absolutely
great.
what this community is built for, right? And so that was the heart behind sharing some stories. But when we started talking about it, we knew it had to be more than just once a quarter. And so this meant a lot of extra work for Jen, though. And so we had to come up with a way to help pay for that. So then we started batting around an idea of, well, hey, I'm a vendor in all these places. Why don't I start reaching out, asking some vendors if they'd want to do a sponsor spotlight where they're also a community spotlight series, and it'll be part of our regular community spotlight series, and we'll thread them in so they're not like every week, but so you can get to meet the owners of some of the RV businesses that are out there that do serve and support you. Some of those are going to be, product based businesses. Some of them may be, service based businesses, and it's a one-on-one conversation with those families, and why did they start the jobs they started. Like, I mean, when I was 5 years old, I don't think I grew up and thought, hey, I want to own an RV roofing company. uh,
Right.
but I mean, like, the behind the scenes stories, the heart of who they are and why they do what they do, and what that looks
Yes.
like in our community today. And so those are paid spots. I won't say they're limited, but they're limited as to when they air, because I'd like
Mhm.
not to air more than one of those every other week at the most, maybe once a month. So we still haven't determined what that looks like in real life yet. So there may only be 12 spots for the year, or there may be 24. So it really depends.
Mhm.
But at the
Yeah,
same
and we've already
time,
got a great lineup of people for that as well, you know? I'm gonna be sitting down and talking with Jennifer and Frank about RV roofing solutions, and, we're going to be bringing AC Silencer on, and, Flagpole Buddy is going to join us for an episode, and Wandering Bear RV is going to join us. So, there's some great and there's more coming too. There's some great people that we're going to be bringing on and sharing their story about why they started their business, and even just talking about their product. And so if like you guys have questions, maybe what I'll even do is I'm going to post who we're going to be talking to in the podcast group ahead of time. And if you have specific questions that you want me to ask them when we interview them, you can put them in that post in the podcast group, and then I can use those questions as well, and we can get answers to the questions you guys have about those products too. So I
and
think
I
that will
want you
be
to
good.
know those are not going to be just a straight sales pitch. So
No.
that's one of the things that I don't want as a business owner. I know you don't want it. You don't want me to do a straight sales pitch every time you talk to me. And so what we want to do is we want to make it very a conversation. So what makes your product different? But one of the things that all of our people that come on have to do that own a business is they have to agree to some terms. And one of those terms is they can't have any disparaging remarks against another company.
Mhm.
And so we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it honest, but we're going to be really great about it. So,
Yep.
we want to talk to the people behind the scenes. Anybody can read an ad, but how many times do you get to sit down and talk to the owners?
Right. Absolutely. And hear their stories. I mean, most of these people that we're going to be talking with are families, just like the rest of us. They've got
Mhm.
kids, they're full-time RVers, they're trying to make a go of this, and I think it's going to be really exciting. So, um,
So is there a way for people if they have like a specific RV product that maybe they could reach out to us and suggest, "Hey, could you talk to the people behind this RV product or could you research
yeah.
that?" Like, could they make some suggestions to us? Because we don't know. I mean,
Yep.
we are very smart ladies, but we do not know everything and we have not seen everything yet, even with your guys's,
Yep.
years of experience. So how could they maybe go about letting us know about products that maybe
Yeah.
we don't know about yet?
So there's two ways they can do that. One way is you can go ahead and email me direct, just connect at learntorv.com. That's CONNECT at learntorv.com. Or you can go to our website, and under the About Us part of the menu, there is a subject called Let Us Feature You or Be Featured. And you can go there and fill out the form, and that will come straight to me. And then I can get in touch with you, and we can, discuss the options and figure out the rest from there. So, we've made it pretty easy. And that goes the same for if you think you have a story to tell about your RVing life, like, go there and fill that out as well. We're not just looking for people with products, we're looking for people with stories to tell. So, I
Well,
got a
and we're
chance.
I was going to say, we're really excited about some of those. Those are going to be
Yeah.
some fantastic stories
I
because we've already started that series behind the scenes. And you two have done
Mhm.
more interviewing on that side than I have.
Oh no, we've all done about the same, but I've been trying to keep it even. You got a chance to talk to Jennifer Scannell, who's actually one of our writers. I mean, you want to give us a little, highlight into that interview, Jennifer?
So what's neat about Jennifer Scannell is she's an overcomer. And you have to go to her website to find out why and tune into that podcast episode. But she has such a vibrant story about just what it means to get a bad diagnosis and take the bull
Mhm.
by the horns and say, I'm not going to live this way. And so she's all the things, right? She's a writer and she's spoken before. And so we're just so blessed to have her as part of the team. She's published on a lot of RV forums and RV articles across the country. And so if you've read one of her articles, you've probably read something she's done because she's in all the major RV magazines at this point. And so, she's just a super awesome person, but her heart and her passion for RVing and living this lifestyle is a big deal. And so
Mhm.
it's, I don't know, I just think that was the heart of behind why we wanted to do these series, was to have people that we could talk to, not just about, and
Right.
share why they did it. And she's not a family that travels with kids. She's a retired couple. And so, I think that there's not enough of that also in kind of what we're doing with the three of us. And so the only way I knew how to do that was to bring it into the fold and just make it part of our community conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I also got a chance to talk with Joni on the road with Joni and Joe, or on the go with Joni and Joe. And they're another retired couple that have just sold it all, hit the road, and she's an avid pickleball player, so she plays pickleball as she travels. I also got a chance to talk with Steve and Ashley from Campfires and Motors. And they're going to come on and talk with us. And they're a family, but they're also new on the road. So we're going to talk about, some of the things they did as they prepared to hit the road, and some of the things they went through as they transitioned, and, things like that. And, we've got others that we've done and others that we're working on. And I don't know, I'm excited about this series. I think it's going to
Well,
be
I think I
great.
sent you 3 today. Stan
Yes.
Cromlish from Wandering Gypsy RV Life. I was just on his podcast this past week, and we sat
Mhm.
down at the Greater Eastern Area Rally in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And, it's going to be fun to interview him and see where he's headed this year. He's a solo guy that
Yeah.
travels in his Tiffin, and he actually had quite the encounter as he was pulling out of the gear rally. Somebody's awning, they cut it too close and it scraped down the side of his coach. And so
No.
he's also written a Black Tank song that I shared on my personal profile today. He actually wrote the song. We also have another friend. His name's Rick, and Rick Steelman. He was one of our very first
He was
supporters
the
for Learn to RV,
first
the podcast.
he
And
was our first
he
Patreon
was the
supporter.
first.
The first.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
he's requested that Tasha does his interview because she's way more fun than I am. So
Or me.
but
She's the
well,
funnest one here, just in
he
case you
doesn't
guys were
know you yet,
wondering.
if that helps. So but no, I mean, we went out to crepes with him and his wife Dawn, and they're just a super neat couple, and they
Yeah.
literally just got their brand new Brinkley. So I mean, it'll be fun to listen and learn about his coach, and he owns a business also on the road, and so he's probably going to talk a little bit about that. He's got some really neat stuff going on behind the scenes that I can't wait for him to share with you.
Oh, that's
I'm so
great. I'm
excited to talk
excited
to
about
him.
those.
I have so many questions about that new rig. I will try to not do a 30-minute interview about the Brinkley. But I'm so excited to talk to them about the
It's
new
only
rig.
35 feet.
Yeah, it's probably not big enough for you, but the brand would
Probably
be
not.
interesting, you know?
Yes. Well, I just know I got to talk to them a little bit about when we were eating crepes. Aside from, wow, this crepe is really
Isn't
good,
she?
yeah. And do you smell the chocolate now? We also talked about like, the move from one rig to another. So I'm excited to hear kind of how that transition went. Like that was a big move. And I know that at one point, like he wasn't there for it. So, she was doing everything herself, and that's huge. So that's gonna be a good story.
It
I'm
is.
excited to hear it.
Well, and
It's a
you'll
huge
actually have to ask
undertaking.
them how Tony's doing, because Tony just had an emergency vet situation while we were
Oh,
at the
no.
gear rally, and he's gonna
Oh,
be okay.
no.
I hope he's gonna be okay. When this airs, we need to make sure he's still okay.
Yeah.
Um, but he had the surgery done, and they took a hard something out of his stomach that was caught there, and he hadn't eaten in 4 days. And so, but they've
Oh.
now had a medical dog emergency on the road that, is
Mm.
gonna be a great conversation piece as well, and how that ended, so for them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Poor buddy.
So I also want to take a moment and I want to dive into some other aspects of Learn to RV too. I want to take this opportunity to kind of like talk about some of the other things and what the background looks like or what, our setup looks like. So, in case you didn't know, all of our riders on Learn to RV are volunteers. And we have a whole team of volunteer riders that write for us on a regular basis. And we're always looking to add to that team. Jennifer, do you want to tell us a little bit more about why we chose to use multiple writers versus just the three of us writing everything?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously, it's kind of it's a flavor variety, right? And so we can't all be experts in every field. So the
Mm-mm.
idea is that we could bring in people that are passionate about certain things and that want to write about something. And so Jen is actually the magic person behind the scenes that puts all of those in order for us, based on when you're sending them in. And there's times where we have lulls where it's just the three of us writing, like right now, because the holidays
With
are coming and everybody's busy.
Mhm.
But it would be great if we had a bigger team. Now, what I can't promise you is pay yet. As Learn to RV grows, Learn to RV will make money. It does have a bank account, and we'll see where that takes us. We'd love for it to be where we're influencers in the arena, not because we think we're better than everybody else, but because we think we add value to this marketplace.
Yeah.
However, that being said, what we do for our writers is they all have their very own page on a writer's page, and that
Mhm.
that goes to their direct links. So, for example, Dolores Snyder is one of our writers. She writes a lot about healthcare, obviously, because that's what's near and dear to her heart. But she's talked
Mhm.
about having her kids have braces on the road. She's talked about having her dog have pet insurance and what that meant for them.
Mhm.
And so all of those things are things that you and I all deal with or could deal with. And
Yep.
so she brings a perspective that not every time is she writing a sales pitch, although the last one was a little more sales pitchy because it's open enrollment season, but she's
That
my
time of the
go-to
year.
person. Yeah. So, I mean, like, so I ask her those questions, but she's going to be there to answer those questions for the people I reach out to. So, what it does is I give you some free advertising on that space at no
Yep.
charge to you. And so it's a place for you to, just get some extra leads. Maybe that's 1 or 2 leads a year. Maybe you end up getting a dozen or 20 leads every month off of that site,
Yep.
so it's a great value for somebody that's just looking to get started. But we do
Well,
need
and
some
it's not
kind of
just
commitment out of that.
and it's not just the bio page. You also, if whatever you're writing about has to do with your product you offer or,
Mhm.
your following on social media, you can link to those things in the
Right.
blog as long as it is relevant. We don't mind
Well,
about that.
and I mean, who did that just recently? Christina Brom, I think, linked to her rivets, like her link to Rivet.
Mhm.
So, I mean, Rivet, if you don't know what Rivet is, we're hoping to have them on at some point. But it's
We
one of
will.
those
I get to
things that
talk to
Rivet
them
is a
tomorrow.
cool. Oh, nice.
Yay!
So, okay, so it's one of those things that those particular items and products that are out there, Learn to RV doesn't have to be, oh, I know what I'm doing. It can be, oh,
Mhm.
there's this brand new blah blah blah, and there's some options for people out there. So,
Yeah.
if you don't know what Rivet is, Christina talked about Rivet, but it's linked to Rivet there as well. We also have product companies that have worked with us in the past. This past summer, we did a treasure hunt. No, that's not a treasure hunt.
The scavenger hunt.
The scavenger hunt, we actually called a whole bunch of people and got some free stuff, like from RV overnights. Now, we haven't had the opportunity to interview RV overnights yet.
We're working
but
on
I'm sure
it.
that
We're working on
we'll
it.
nail Rob down somewhere, and if we don't see him before Tampa, we'll tie him up in Tampa and just no, that sounded terrible.
That will show real well. Make sure you guys tune into the video version that week.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, if you don't know the difference between like Harvest Hosts and RV overnights, or whatever, Rob can do the explaining of what he has to offer. Who knows, maybe we can get Joel Holland on with
Yeah.
Harvest Hosts or Escapees at some point. I know that we've got an FRVA, one for the main blog and post in the works. But those community content, I actually planted a bunch of seeds this past week at the gear rally, asking several people, and they said, well, I'll think about it. But a lot of them were, older couples that were nervous about manipulating software. So they were curious if we could do it in Perry. So, and that's another thing is, there's opportunities there too.
Yeah, and I also want to say, like, you don't have to be an amazing writer to write for us either. You just have to have some passion and a story to tell. And then you just put it in words. And then we have this wonderfully beautiful copywriter over here. I don't know which way she'll be sitting. Miss Tasha, who, if we need to, we can run the blog through her eyes. Yep. and she can make you sound like a, real professional
writer, just like her.
But I do want to also mention, we've talked about it a little bit here and there, but just so you guys understand, like, all three of us, we're here because we have a heart and a passion for the community. None of us are really paid, to be honest. We're not making money. We'd like to. We would love to be able to make enough money so we could all quit our day job. Well, at least Tasha and I could quit our day jobs. And Jennifer's not going anywhere. She's keeping RV Roofing Solutions. But
those
we want to get to a point. Yes, they do. But we want to get to a point where we can pour more of our heart and passion and, into you guys and into the community and everything. Tasha, why don't you just take a little bit of a minute and kind of share a little bit about your passion and heart for the RV community and why you feel led to give of your time to this community.
Oh gosh, just go ahead and put me on the spot. Why don't you? Well, okay. So first of all, I want to hit on something because this also ties into my passion, but we've only been on the road full time for 2.5 years. And we're throwing a line out there and saying, if you want to contribute as a volunteer writer and join our group of ragtag writers, like, we would love to have you. But I want to say, like, you don't have to be an expert and you don't have to have been on the road for years and years and years. Heck, you don't have to be on the road yet. I mean, there is a story in the people who are looking to get on the road. There, we just, I was just working on one of the blogs for an upcoming episode that we've got.
No, it went live. It's live.
It's live. And when I was putting links in, I thought, man, it would be so great if we had some articles about what it's like to have to box up and sell your stuff, what it's like when you're considering, what do I keep? Do I keep? What do I, So if you are a person who is maybe listening to this and you're doing that research for yourself, that doesn't mean that because you're in research mode that you don't have a story to give. That is a story to give. So don't discredit your story because of where you are in the story. Every story is valid. My passion for this is that I joke about the Martin Mayhem, and it is a real thing. But we have met so many people on the road that have been so generous with us. And um, I just want to be able to give back in whatever way that I can. And for whatever reason, storytelling is my niche. And so if I can take somebody's story and turn it around and present it in a way that it will help others or get a message out, that's really going to help them go that extra mile in their travels. That's really important to me. Um, we wouldn't still be on the road if it wasn't for the lessons that other people have learned before us. Um, I talk about Jennifer and Frank a lot. They've shared a lot of stories with us about things that they've learned, and those stories have made a lot of our miles possible. And
Mhm.
so I think that it's really important to pass down what you learn. It's really, that pattern of or that oh, what am I trying to say? Not pattern, but that history of kind of storytelling that has always been around, generation to generation or people to
Yeah.
people telling the stories so that you're teaching others how to take care of themselves or, whatever. That I think is valid in the RV community as well. And so I love this life. I love this community. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is that when when I was in a sticks and bricks, I felt unsettled. I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I always felt this itch, like there was something else or something more or something I was supposed to be doing or something that I was supposed to be chasing. But I was always told that there was a traditional lifestyle, especially as a woman, that I was supposed to be living. And I allowed that message to guide the life that I set up for myself. And I'm very passionate about making sure that other people and women out there especially know that that itch that's inside of you, that's not there by mistake. That is
Mhm.
an itch that deserves to be scratched. That's a voice that deserves to be heard. And if this is something you're passionate about, if you love travel, if you have a gypsy soul, if you wanna be out on the road, if you wanna get out there and give to others, if you have that kinda ramblin' road spirit about you, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're, like, other or odd or off or, like, you don't have to force your square peg into a round hole, like, follow
Yeah.
that calling, and so that's why I'm really passionate about this because first, I want people to know that it's okay to chase your dreams and it's okay to listen to your gut. And I also want them to know that when they do, there is a community out there to support them.
Yeah.
And that's a
Absolutely.
very long
Well, I
diatribe
think
about
that
why this is passionate to me.
no, but it's absolutely great. And so here's the one thing that I would say too is, you don't have to be a full-time RVer to tell your story.
No.
Correct.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't want just full-time RVers to tell their story. I
Yep.
want people that are stationary RVers
Yeah.
to tell their story.
Yes.
I want people that travel seasonally to tell their story. I want people
Weekenders.
that are weekenders. I want people that are world schoolers that maybe don't even have an RV to tell their
Boats.
story.
There's families out there that
Absolutely.
travel by
Oh, I
boat.
know a family that would be great for that. Anyway,
You
so,
know
um
everybody, Jennifer.
I know a couple of families that have done that. But, I mean, that's, I guess, what I'm saying. And one of the people that is, a charter member of Full-Time Families, Jill Jenkins, she owned Full-Time Families for a little while. They're now, settled up in Michigan. they own a newspaper now after traveling for a bunch of years. And so, like, even those stories, they had years on the road. And so I would love for those stories to be heard too,
Yeah.
even if you're off the road. Maybe
Why
your
did they decide
dynamic
to settle
changed.
down? Because
Yeah.
sometimes
And
that happens too, and
Yeah.
people face that.
yep,
Yep.
absolutely. And sometimes it's health related and sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's
Yep.
just a life choice. Sometimes your kids all grow up and I keep thinking, what do we do when Judah's the last one here? And so Tasha's coming to the end of an 18-year-old year with, her youngest. And so what does that look
It's
like in
so
real life for
sad.
Tasha and her family? Well, her kids are still traveling with her this year. It's fine. But but I mean, when you grow up and you have to find friends by yourself without your kids finding them for you, and
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's some of that too. The other thing is this is not the only way you can get involved in Learn to RV.
No,
We
it's
have
not.
groups. And
Yep.
so we have a bunch of groups. We have Learn to RV, the friendly informative group. We have road schooling resources. We have the military community group. And that's for active duty, retired people
All
that just
kinds
got
of.
out and are traveling now with their family. Maybe it's a season. Maybe it's like us, 13 years and crazy. But we have the ladies only
ladies.
chit chat, and the ladies chit
The
chat is specific.
full-timers.
And there's a full-timers group called the Radical
Yep.
American Gypsy Experience.
And we've got
And
more
so
groups coming as we can get
absolutely.
more
There's
help,
a
which is where we're
foodie group
going.
coming.
Yes, a
So
foodie
Jen,
group,
do you want to tell us that what
1,000
we're looking for?
trails. Yes, we're looking for community ambassadors. And essentially what that is you just get to come alongside and you're going to be a moderator in the group. All we ask is that you kind of help keep the language clean, fun, happy, supportive, and you post once a week. I mean, that's all we're asking. It's that easy.
And you
We
comment
just
every now and then. It's not terrible.
commenting. It's not terrible. We just need more eyes because there's only 3 of us. And, we can't have our eyes everywhere all the time. And like I mentioned, we're all doing this volunteer too. And so we're just trying to spread the work out so we can create that friendly environment for everywhere. I am in so many Facebook groups where someone will ask a question and they just get bashed because it's a question that's been asked 100 times. Or,
And that will
it's a
never, that's
or it's a
actually
stupid
against,
question. Yeah.
well, and that's actually against the rules in all of the groups so that you
Yes.
don't feel dumb. I'm not going to ever tell you, hey, go to the top of the screen, push the little button and go search. That
Nope.
is not what we are.
No.
People can scroll on by. If one of us doesn't have time to answer that question that day, we're probably
Someone
not
else
going to.
will. Someone else
But
will answer it though.
absolutely.
Right.
But if somebody comes on and says, how do you make money on the road? There's actually groups that I'm in that have banned that question. And I think it's a great question because I can go straight to a Learn to RV page on the website and say, hey, go through this page and drop the link there. And you have a whole toolbox sitting in front of you. A lot
And
of
it's
times
always
we've written.
changing.
Yep. And a lot of
Right.
times we've already written a blog post about a topic that is a question. How do you get mail on the road? How do you do this? Just recently, how do you winterize your RV? And so I've been able to drop links into those. And so I find value in all of that.
But I think
Tasha.
too, there are questions that I have asked in other groups whenever I started that I was made to feel ridiculous for asking.
Yeah.
These are valid questions, people. And I'm going to give you the biggest example I have. We were launching full time. And my question was, and this was after all of my research, we had already gotten into the camper. We had already, I had already put in a new skylight. We had done some remodeling work already. And my question was, what the heck do you guys do whenever, you need to get your hair cut and dyed? Where do you go if you don't know where to go? And a
Right?
gentleman got on and reamed me in this group that I was immature, that I was not prepared, that what kind of woman was I if I was just going to take my kids on the road and all I was caring about was my hair? Listen, I'm sorry, but do you know how many times people need to get their hair cut in a year? That is a valid question. You have to know where to go for services. Services.
Yes,
These
you
are
do.
Well, and
services
on
that
that
we
note,
need.
not all hairdressers are equal, just like not all RV techs are equal. And
Exactly.
so
That's
my
right.
worst haircut was actually in Florida. This lady cut my hair, and I mean, my mother saw it. She got halfway through my haircut, and I'm like, "We're done." And she's like, "What? I'm not finished." And I'm like, "Oh, you're finished."
Oh, yes, you
And
are.
so, like, I had this janky haircut for like 2 years as it grew back out, but you couldn't see it because
Mhm.
the top was still
Lady,
long, but underneath it, jankiest haircut I've
ladies,
ever
Yeah,
had. So
can
that is
I
but
valid.
that's
That is
the thing.
100%
can
valid.
I tell
These
you
are
that this
valid
is why
questions.
I cut my own hair?
See, but but the point is that in these groups, these are safe place groups. So no question is
Yes.
ever wrong. That they are a safe
And
place for you to ask the real questions that you need to ask to know how to do life in an RV.
Yep.
they're closed groups. And
Mhm.
so what
Yes.
does that mean? Open group, closed group, what does
They're
it
not
matter?
public,
It
so you have to answer
matters.
questions to get into the group. So it keeps the trolls out. It keeps the, naysayers out. If you don't answer the questions, you're not getting in. So if you want to
There's
You
join
have
one
to
of
have a
those
no
groups,
profile picture.
Yeah,
make
there's
sure you
no
answer the
that's really
questions.
great, George. Did you know that I earned money by pressing this button and going to this link? You will never see that on one of our feeds because that has
No.
been
Or if you do, you're going to
weeded out.
report it and one of us is going to
Yes,
see it and remove
we're
it
gonna get them
immediately.
out.
And
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's never going to be a troll. I'm not going to say there's never a person that's not going to get past it, but they're not going to be able to post anymore. So the rules for that are very simple. If you
Yep.
are mean, I put you on post approval until I decide you're off post approval. And so that's how I handle that. And then as long as they play nice from there forward, I will post their stuff. It may not be in real time as they answer it, but it will be shared. So,
Yep.
and once they figure out, they'll message me typically and say, "Why am I on post approval?" And I'll say, "Well, because you were mean this one time to this person. And I have this screenshot and I'll share it with them." And so I am constantly watching all of the groups. And it's not to be a stalker, it's because I care deeply about this
Mhm.
community. And
Yep.
and Tasha and Jen are here because basically I drug them along. No, I invited them. But they said
We
yes. And so
came willingly, okay?
We did. We
but the
did.
thing is they care just as much as I do about this community or they wouldn't be here either.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we're
That's right.
looking for moderators that care about the
Writers.
community,
Yep.
that writers that care about the community, that think that we have something to say and we're willing to be out there for everybody. And so
Yep.
lots of ways to get involved and learn to RV. It's not a be all end all. And I'm sure there's other groups out there. But like I'm in a homeschool group that's a public group and some mom came and shared her story yesterday and she got lit up from one side and down the other. And somebody said something about the fact that and I sent her a screenshot. I said, "Look, this is an open group. Everything you
Mhm.
say in here is seen all over the internet. So the
Oh,
reason
it's
we
not
have closed
safe.
groups is for your safety. Some of you
Yep.
travel solo. Some of you travel with kids. And so it's up to you whether you want to decide whether or not that information is shared. So in a closed
Yep.
group, it doesn't get shared. So that is private in there. And so we keep it that way on purpose. In fact, I wrote an article a couple weeks ago where you may have seen on Road Schooling Resources where I shared a bunch of families' pictures. That was with permission. Anyone
Yep.
that said, "No, I don't want you to put my kids up," I did not use their photo.
Mhm.
Yep. For sure. And I want to talk about one more way. There's one more way that you can, get involved with Learn to RV if you choose to. And that is like maybe you're a little shy and you don't want to write yet, or maybe you don't want to moderate because you don't have enough time. But here's something else you can do, and that is share our posts, share our blogs, like, comment, and just be involved in the community. You're in other Facebook groups or on your personal page. When you see a blog that speaks to your heart, share it, because then you never know who's going to see your post and go, "Oh, that's really good information." And then you're helping us in return because you're helping us get our word out there. So it's just another way. And everybody can do that. It's free. It costs nothing. It doesn't take much of your time, and we greatly appreciate, because the tiny little things make a big impact in the end. So
Absolutely. Well, and there's
yeah.
one other thing that you did, you and Tasha mostly. I mean, I helped a little bit, but on this one, this was mostly the two of you. Learn to
What do
RV,
we
the
do?
podcast, is kind of essentially part of Learn to RV. And so
Yeah.
for Hershey, we had this great plan to launch this thing where we were talking about how
Oh.
you can be a podcast supporter. And so this is the paper version of what's on Learn to RV's website. So if
Yep.
you want to support the podcast, there are limited spots available for these, and the price does go up after the first of the year for these.
Yeah.
But there are limited spots where you don't have to hear every single time that RV Roofing Solutions is the sponsor of this podcast. It could be you. And so
Because you're
we'd love to
tired
have,
of hearing about RV roofing solutions.
so we'd love for a few of you business owners to jump on. And Tasha,
Yeah.
do you want to tell them a little bit about that program itself?
Sure. So, whenever you come on as a sponsor for Learn to RV, the podcast, you get so many benefits depending on what tier you choose. You could be featured in the beginning of the podcast, the middle of the podcast, the end of the podcast. I've been writing little commercials at the end of our blogs for RV Roofing Solutions. So, you know, get yourself a free commercial written at the end of the blog. You get
Yeah.
posted on all of our Facebook groups. You get your logo as a partner on our websites. I mean, we are not shy about our partners. We love to share the love with others about the companies that we partner with. And we're very, I don't want to like scare y'all off, but we are selective. We, if Joe Schmo comes on and is like, I want to share this product that I know does not work, Joe Schmo's does not work product is not going to be a sponsor. Okay. So
Yeah,
we're
it has to align
sharing,
with our
it
values.
has to align with our values. So you, as the audience, know that if we're sharing it, it's something that we trust and we believe in and we think is a good product for, like, we would use it with our families. Um
Yeah.
so our audience can trust it, and if we know that we can trust it, then we're going to share the love. We're going to make sure that you as a business owner feel the love. So that's some of the reasons why
Yeah.
it's a really good deal to get in here on the bottom level and get in before those prices go up at the start of the year, like Jennifer was saying, because, we're looking for our first few sponsors. And I'm getting really good at writing RV roofing solution um, advertisements at the end of the blogs. But I'm telling you, like, put my fingers
You
to
need
the
a
test.
challenge.
I need a challenge, I write healthcare advertisements all day long. And then at the end of the day, I write some RV roofing solution advertisements. Give me something to mix it up a little bit. Like, let's do some mixing it up.
Yeah.
So contact us.
And
There's a
Well, and
those are
that's and
limited
that's
link on the
spots.
on the
those are limited.
we're all talking at the same time.
Yeah, that's
There's a
okay.
link. There's a link on the website. Go to learntorv.com and there's a partner with us link. And then where else, Jen? I
Yep.
know that I'm getting this all wrong because I know that
No,
that I
you're
am,
right.
but
Under About Us, there's a partner with us, and you just go right there, fill out the form. It comes to me, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll go from there. But so that's for businesses. But maybe you don't own a business, and you want to be involved financially somehow. Well, let's talk about Patreon for a minute, because that's one of the best ways that you can go and support us is through Patreon. And
I
I want
love
to show you
Patreon.
something. So it just showed up. Look at this.
Oh, look at it. It's here in real
See?
life.
Isn't that? It's here in real life.
Oh, it's
So
so cute.
this one is going to Dealora, Insurance with Dealora, because
Oh,
she was our very first big
yay.
subscriber for Patreon. And so if you join our campfire crew, and I think it's the top tier, the bonfire, this is one of the first things you get. It's a
That
nice
is
little
so
tumbler
cute.
with our logo. It says Campfire Crew. Yes, yes. And
That's so
look at
cool.
the keychain.
Oh, it's so pretty.
That
So
is
yay.
here.
So you
Oh,
get good.
so
I
excited.
mean, You get goodies when you support us on Patreon. It's not just
Mhm.
about supporting us. We want to give you goodies back as well.
Yep.
But there's
But
3 different ways to support us on
I was gonna
Patreon.
say,
Yep.
you don't have to actually, like, support us to follow us
Mhm.
on Patreon,
That's
No,
right.
correct?
you don't. That's correct. You can join for free on Patreon. And on that note, let's also talk about that for a minute because we have decided that we were going to start including some things on that. All of our bonus content and extended interviews and things like that are going to get transferred to our free subscribers, not blooper reels, not our extra episodes, not things like that, but just behind the scenes content and our extended interviews are getting switched to free subscribers. So all you have to do is go in, give your email, you're a free
Mhm.
Yep.
subscriber. No credit card,
And
You
that
no
gotta
was
nothing.
subscribe.
that was actually one of the conversations we had about this actual thing happening, was that's where all of these community spotlight series were gonna go. They were gonna go
Mhm.
on Patreon only. And so that's where you have to go for a lot of them, but they will drop also other places. But the thing about this, and that's why we decided to make it a whole, everybody could see those. But like, for example, we interviewed Delora about healthcare, and there's the full episode of that, and that is on Patreon or is coming?
That's a good question.
Okay, well, so and then
One
we
of
we
those.
also
To be
we
determined.
also interviewed Amanda Pelser about part
Mhm.
of, homeopathy on the road, and so there's a full episode that we're going to be able to drop there on our for
I'm
our pa-
pretty
for
sure
our,
their full unedited interviews are there already. I
right.
have not gotten to the Thanksgiving episodes. Their interviews are not there yet, but they're coming soon. So
Okay,
the idea will
but
be is anytime we interview someone in a regular podcast, the full unedited interview will end up over on Patreon.
which is
Oh,
pretty
that's such
awesome.
good
And so then these
content.
community spotlights will be on Thursdays. And so we'll
Mhm.
drop these on Thursdays across the board. So you'll get not one, but if you can't get enough of us, you'll get 2. But the neat part about that second one is it's going to be just one of us with somebody else that's traveling or part of this community. So you
Yep.
get to meet a whole lot of other community in that equation.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. So, well, thanks for joining me today. Before you guys tune out, though, we're going to say goodbye, but I want you guys to keep listening or watching because we're going to show some highlights of our community series that we have already recorded just to give you guys a little taste of what's coming in the weeks to come. But thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow us, go join our Learn to RV, the podcast Facebook group. If you want to be a writer, if you want to join our community ambassador team, if you want to sponsor us, hop on the website, learntorv.com. Just go to the About Us, find the right menu option, fill out the form, and we'll get you all taken care of. So, all right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Today, I am sitting here with Joni from On the Go with Joni and Joe, and we're going to have a great time chatting today.
My name is Teal. We've been full-time in our rig for the last 3.5 years. We'll celebrate 4 years in May.
I actually found Jennifer Scannell online on Facebook as she was traveling this year.
Now we're full time. We sold our house in December and pretty much hit the road in January of this past year. This year, 2025.
We had 28 acres, a 6,000 square foot house, animals
Wow.
galore, and it was just a lot. And I'm like, let's just do that.
And I'm like, if you're getting an RV, we're going to Disney World. We have just officially been on the road about 3 months.
So what inspired you guys to like take the leap and jump into RV life?
So we got a small one, a 25 foot, and then that lasted about maybe 3 trips.
We never realized how much stuff we actually had in our house until we actually had to go through everything.
Absolutely. But it also means that my rig is used as a guinea pig a lot of times as well.
When we go back out at the beginning of this next year, they won't be going with us.
Oh, wow.
So-
That's going to be a big transition.
It's going to be a big transition from 3 down to 1.
You know, we did the tent, we did the pop-up, we did the hard side, we did the travel trailer.
So we launched in kind of a weird way.
I had a quilting business. I had a studio in my house, a long arm quilting machine and everything.
Oh, wow.
And I sold it all to do this. So
That's like the hardest thing is watching the weight. Like you don't realize how much weight
just with adding more cups and plates that you put into your camper.
This lifestyle is not for everybody, but for those that it is for, like, it is a huge, wide door open of chasing after your dreams and passion.
I've struggled with that being on the road myself.
Well, I have discovered you cannot really fly totally by the seat of your pants.
I can give him the tiniest little parking lot and he's like, I got it, let's go.
Oh, well, our little RV survived it. And, it was fabulous.
Did you ever expect, like when you guys first got married, did you ever expect that this is where life was going to take you? That you would sell it all, move into a tiny RV, and travel the country?
Like everybody else, life happens, whether you're in sticks and bricks or an RV.
How would you say you adapted your practice to mobile life?
I love that question because we didn't just jump into this RV.
The big question that everybody has with Harvest, they ask about the weather. I'll get to that one in just a second.
You figure out ways to handle all of these different things that pop up.
I mean, I think overall we've been pretty lucky.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
In 2013, I was in a car accident, and I am permanently disabled from that car accident.
They were still learning, they were still getting an education, and we were able to have fun. And I was like, I think we could do this.
Love what you're hearing? Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're at it, leave us a review.